Jeffrey Spender learns horrifying news about his mother, and his allegiances change as he tries to protect her.
Cassandra becomes a central figure in a race against time. Can she save humanity, or will she destroy it?
This is not happening.
Ooh. Well, welcome back, everybody, to This Is Not Happening, another X-Files podcast. My name is Andrew, and joined with me, as always, my good friend Mike. Mike, say hello to the masses of people.
I thought we were covering My Two Dads.
Well, it's kind of the same thing.
Kind of.
It's kind of the same thing.
I'm confused.
Yeah. They take a steamroll back into comedy territory as,
yes.
as they do My Two Dads.
X-Files meets 80s sitcom.
No, it's not that. And in fact, it's probably about as far from that as it can possibly be as we descend back into mythology.
Yes. A little exciting. This is the beginning of the two-parter that may or may not end some things.
Yes. It is about time. I think this plot has overstayed its welcome a little bit. It has been a hell of a ride for these writers, but it is definitely nearing the end. And as I understand it, Chris Carter thought that the show would be coming to the end near the end of 2000, probably the end of season 6 or 7. So they're looking at season 7. Mm-hmm. So they needed to, start to descend.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. Get into the out with this particular plot. And then they do it, and it's like, what do you do now? We still got more show.
What do we do now? People are asking for more X-Files, and the studio wants more X-Files, and David's gone. So what do we do in season 8?
Well,
but yeah, I think they were trying to wrap it up because they sensed David's exit, and the show, like it or not, it was waning in popularity, I would say, towards the last couple seasons here. Not that it was bad or people weren't watching, but it was just not quite as popular as the first few seasons were.
So do you mean it's waning in popularity in season 6 or 7 and 8 it's starting to wane?
I think it was getting there. I would say towards the end of season 6, season 7, the numbers weren't quite there. I think I even heard David Duchovny describe it that way. He left as the series it had crescendoed, and, now it was like status quo. How do we keep this going kind of thing? So
yeah,
while I disagree, I think the show's great through season 8, at least. I mean, obviously there are clunkers, but yeah, I would say that regarding the mythology and David becoming at least a little disenfranchised, he's kind of tired of it at this point. He wants to move on and do other things. You can sense it. And I think I've mentioned it to you before. You can sense and hear the kind of tiredness in David's voice in season 7. Certain episodes, he's just even more monotone than usual. And you can sense it.
Yeah, you can see it in some of his performance, certainly in One Son, like his whole, there's no point, why bother fighting? I don't think he has to channel too much to get there, but I think, he probably thinks like most actors do, I don't want to get typecast in this role. I'll always be doing Mulders if I don't sort of branch out and do other stuff. But yeah. I mean,
although I think his first role after he left the show was Evolution, I think, for Ivan Reitman's space comedy.
Yeah, where he doesn't go too far away from playing himself.
Not far at all.
But it's that's far and beyond what we need to talk about with Two Fathers, One Son, which is how they have a hell of a challenge to face here, which is how do you end this thing? How do you bring together all the plot threads that they have developed and tie them up in a bow? And what we will have to discuss is whether or not it is a successful venture.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Fully anticipated the discussion on that because I'm sure you have things to say.
Well,
and I have things to say.
You must have things to say.
I'm excited because it really is as much shit as the mythology gets. I think they did what they could do with these two-parters here. And I'll have a lot more to say during the episodes, but
sure.
What do you say we get going, Andrew?
Well, let us start with two fathers. And it's worth noting that both of these are written by Frank Spotnitz and Chris Carter, the first one directed by Kim Manners. And the real star of the show here is Veronica Cartwright, playing, reprising her role as Cassandra Spender. And worth noting, she gets an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Drama Series for her work on these two episodes.
Yes. And it's well earned.
Deserved, I'd say. I mean, I think we have definitely highlighted the works of some other actors in the show that we have praised. I don't think she's bad, but I mean, I think that there are others who have brought out finer performances with what they're given.
Right.
I think she does a capable job.
Well, I'm going to call her agent,
okay.
And he's going to put me in touch with Veronica, and you are canceled, sir, for saying those things about Veronica Cartwright.
Veronica, do you think you deserved your nomination? I mean,
30 years later, I just found out you got an Emmy nomination for this. Really? Really? I mean, come on.
How did it feel when you didn't get the award? Huh?
How does it feel to be given an award? Literally given, because you didn't earn that.
That would be pretty awful, yeah. Well, the person who did get an award was they got the outstanding makeup for a series with this two-parter.
Oh, nice.
I suppose
I would disagree.
Again, look at other episodes where they've done. I think
Wait a minute.
SR819 actually was the makeup standout so far.
That was a pretty good one.
It was great with the veins, but in this one we've got the liquid
Rebel
nitrogen
faces.
face, which is all right.
That was all right.
I suppose the faceless men they get a lot of props.
They get a little bit of eyes sewing shut and mouth sewing shut.
But
good stuff.
They're gonna have.
I'm not shitting on anyone. I'm just fucking around.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's all good stuff. Better than I could do, right? So,
I mean, it's probably, honestly, in 1998, probably one of the only shows that has a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
In this vein, like creatures and things like that. But
yeah,
I'm sure it was deserved at the time, for sure.
But it was. Well, here's where we go. We start in a surgical suite. Man in a white hazmat suit adjusting an overhead light as the camera tracks around an operation in progress. A beep beep machine intones a slow, regular heartbeat in the patient. The patient's exposed abdomen is sliced in two with a laser, which produces an inhuman green goo. No wonder they're all protecting themselves with hazmat suits, ominously reminding faithful viewers of the show that green goo means a gas which incapacitates humans. As we watch, we see the wound begin to heal itself until it disappears completely. The camera cuts to an exterior, the legend revealing us to be not at a hospital, but the Potomac Train Yard in Arlington, Virginia. A callback indeed to the mobile train car experiment labs of 731 and Nisei.
Yeah.
The camera passes by a misty midnight over the train cars until we see a car pull up and stop, turning off its headlights. A man gets out and walks to the train car. As the surgeons emerge, the head surgeon shakes the newly arrived man's hand, Dr. Openshaw. The surgeon announcing that his work is complete. And by his work, I mean, of course, Dr. Openshaw's work. And that he should go in and see her. And so the two men enter the car. Inside, Dr. Openshaw and the surgeon inspect the patient inside the sterile operating theater. Dr. Openshaw regards the patient ominously as the surgeon reveals that after 25 years, she must seem like an old friend. The surgeon says the rest of the doctors are going out to celebrate, probably in a nearby Chuck E. Cheese. But Dr. Openshaw declines their invitation to join them. Outside, the surgeon is walking away when he's suddenly struck from behind by a man who appears to have no facial features, his eyes, nose, and mouth covered with skin. Suddenly, the surgeon erupts into flames, screaming in pain as he burns uncontrollably. The doctors in the van try to get away, but the faceless man puts them to the torch, their van turning into a pyre. Inside, the faceless man throws Dr. Openshaw to the floor and burninates him as well. The faceless man turns his attention to the patient, who the camera reveals as Cassandra Spender, the world's most prominent alien abductee. Credits. Well, Mike, that's where we start.
Excellent. It's been a year since she's been on the show, since she was abducted once more.
Indeed.
I bet you forgot about her.
Well, yeah, I don't think the plot was hoping that I would keep track of where all the characters went. But
Well, it's not like she's winning awards for her acting, so I mean, it's easy to forget.
I still
that
wonder
she
where
existed.
Stana Cypher and what's her name have gone to. That's where I keep going to. Where have they gone?
Yes. Yes. I would like to say that Bran in chat here had something to say about our makeup talk. He says, outstanding makeup. The opening scene looked like Michael Myers rescuing Ziggy Stardust from a dental chair. Wow. Harsh words.
Ooh, yikes. But I guess he wasn't on the committee that awarded the...
Very funny. He was the lone dissenter.
Yeah.
At the awards ceremony.
Or the other competitors in the category were really bad. And these guys stood out. But,
good opening, though. It was a nice reveal to see Cassandra back. And we have been chomping at the bit for some more mythology in season 6. I'm sure you have, especially because you're done with the comedy.
The comic turns, yeah. I was ready for a little bit more X-Files style X-Files episodes, what they pioneered, but I wasn't harping that there should be specifically a mythology episode, because at this point it's gotten so convoluted that it's like, well, where are they going to go next, I suppose, right? But even they, I think, figured out they needed to bring it in for a landing. So this is the attempt, and our setup is going to be through Cassandra, and why not? It's a good entry point.
I think it's a good point. You know, I imagine that boardroom or the writing room where they're all sitting together, and Chris Carter's at the head of the table going, "We have a lot of strings. Yeah. We should probably start tying some of these up." Or not. Maybe he was like, let's keep going. And Frank Spotnitz was like, no. We have to end this now.
Well,
I can't even follow it.
They needed to do something different, too, because the only thing they could do would be to sort of rehash some plot threads they'd done before, like doing the Black Oil possession episode again. But I feel like they have done enough Black Oil that they don't really need to go there too. So I'm glad they did something a little different. And the setting people on fire thing, that's definitely a new twist for them. So yeah, kudos so far. I'm in.
Good stuff.
Well, we come back to a cigarette lighter being ignited. It's the cigarette smoking man lighting up a cigarette and introducing the episode.
This is the end. I never thought I'd hear myself say those words after all these years. Put your life into something, build it, protect it. The end is as unimaginable as your own death, or the death of your children. I could never have scripted the events that led us to this. None of us could. All the brilliant men, the secret that we kept so well. It happened simply like this. We had a perfect conspiracy with an alien race. Aliens who were coming to reclaim this planet and to destroy all human life. Our job was to secretly prepare the way for their invasion. To create for them a slave race of human-alien hybrids. They were good plans. Right plans. Kept secret for over 50 years, ever since the crash at Roswell. Kept secret from men like Fox Mulder. Plans that would have worked had not a rebel alien race come to destroy them. Had not my own son chosen betrayal, or chosen to betray more wisely.
Oh, how ominous, eh? So, there we go. The entire mythology arc summarized in just under 2 minutes. Congratulations, episode.
You know, when it's laid out like that, you're like, huh, Maybe it's not so confusing.
Maybe it's not so confusing. Actually, I have questions that I penned when going through One Son that are now cleared up because I'm like, all right, yeah, that's why. But
that's why
I think there are so many moving parts in the mythology arc that it's easy to forget little bits.
It is. Yeah. I think. Well, I won't go into it now. It's very much sounds like final thought material. It does. Yeah, I think he very much sums up the plan so far. So
yes,
let's go.
Well, we cut to Agent Jeffrey Spender's office, dimly lit, and AD Walter Skinner arrives as Spender reveals he's just been working on a progress report. Skinner notes he's only received one memo in all the time Spender's been working on the X-Files. What, was Spender going to hit them all at once with a flood of reports? But of course, Skinner knows that Spender isn't there to do any actual work on the X-Files, something Spender doesn't deny. And that really, Spender's only interested in one case, that of his mother, who disappeared at the end of Patient X, Season 5, Episode 13. Skinner honestly reveals that maybe Cassandra Spender isn't as disappeared as she used to be, as we cut to the Potomac Yard in the daytime. Firefighters extinguishing a burned-out van and the torn-up scene of the train lab. Spender demands to know where his mother is. Well, she's outside being treated in an ambulance. Spender is super happy to see her alive, wants to know where she's been, what's happened to her, but while she's happy to see him, she needs to speak to someone else. Agent Mulder.
Crushed.
Woo.
The last thing he wants to hear right now.
Yeah, nice to see you, Sonny, but...
Jeffrey, it's been a year, but do you know where Mulder's at? That guy you hate so much?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make old Jeff any happier. He leaves the ambulance, telling Skinner he doesn't want her talking with Mulder, filling her head with ideas. Skinner pushes back. Why wouldn't Spender want to use every available resource to find out what happened to his mother? Spender ends the scene with a one-liner that brings the scene full circle. I'll send you a progress report. Ooh, snap. I think he's likely to send a progress report.
Oh, no.
I don't think so either.
He's going to send out, you stink, sir.
You want a progress report?
Dictated but not read.
Let this progress up your ass. Well, that's our setups. Cassandra Spender has returned to life. She's got some secrets to tell, but only to Agent Mulder, who has been forbidden from working on the X-Files, and clearly there are some villains out there who have a torch to grind. So, we get another scene of the cigarette-smoking man on a monologue talking to who exactly? Who, Mike? Who is he talking to? Is he talking to himself? It doesn't make sense. Well, he's summing up what we've just seen and implying that Spender's about to go talk to Mulder. And we're going to go cut to him playing basketball. Before we do, did you have something you want to say? I thought I heard your voice.
I was just going to say, he's finally lost his mind. He's talking to no one.
That's right.
CSM is revealed to be talking to a clock.
Yes. He's talking to a stuffed chimp. What other fun things could he be talking to? He's talking to a carton of cigarettes.
Our plans were so excellent. You wouldn't believe how much we've done.
He's talking
to his cigarettes.
Oh, cigarette, you're the only thing.
Oh, Morley.
You understand, don't you? You understand the load that I'm under. Only you bring me joy, cigarette.
You cut me to the core.
I want to see that show where CGP
finally lost his mind.
It's CGB and the cigarette, the Morley man. All right. Well, okay, let's keep going. So, cigarette smoking man has summed up what we've just seen. Spender's going to go rogue, and Mulder's playing basketball. He's in the middle of a game when Scully arrives, and Mulder decides to cut the game short by throwing a long shot to the annoyance of all the other players. And then we have the worst scene in all of the 90s. Here we go.
Hey, homegirl. Word up.
Mulder, it's my distinct impression that you just cheated. And that you're not coming in again today.
Oh, Scully, I got game.
Yeah, you got so much game, I'm wondering if you have any work left in you.
Oh, no, I'm ready to JOB, just not on some jag-off shoe-shine tip.
No jag-off shoe-shine tip?
No background checking jag-off shoe-shine tip.
Well, about your JOB, Mulder, somebody's been trying very hard to reach you by phone. Somebody who wants you back at the FBI ASAP.
About what?
About an X-file.
Wow, channel your late 90s homeboy. That's great.
Oh, man. Bran had some issues with that as well.
No background
man.
chicken jag-off shoe shine tip, eh? You know, we steer past that pretty easily. And
Give him a basketball and he speaks jive.
Listen, canonically, Mulder has always been a basketball guy, though. He's been cutting
Because
up his
David
shirt
is.
to give little pieces to psychics since day one.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's a smelly basketball shirt. Certainly
At this
looks that
point,
way.
yes.
All right, we're going to cut back to the FBI headquarters with Agent Jeffrey Spender leaving a note for Mulder, who quips that he's got some work that Spender can do if he wants it. Spender has a hard time asking Mulder to speak to his mother. In fact, he never comes out and asks, and Mulder has a hard time agreeing to it, which, in fact, he doesn't. Spender just wants the truth, but Mulder doesn't think he will accept it, challenging him to find it for himself. Spender leaves. And you know what? I like that the scene does not progress as the plot would otherwise demand. That is to say, yeah, all right, I'll go talk to your mother because it's an X-File, and I love me an X-File. No.
Mulder's hip to what could happen to him for the first time ever.
Yeah. Burned like 6 times now.
He's like, you know what? I'm going to learn from the past 12 mistakes. I'm not going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to listen and not pursue an X-File.
Well, there's that.
For
But
risk of being fired.
I think there is also a simple matter of if he gets involved here, it's just going to make it worse. Like, it's not going to actually help Jeffrey Spender. And really what's going to help is if Jeffrey comes to the realizations on his own. Like, I think he knows he's not welcome here by anybody. Like, you're not asked for being to be a willing participant in it. You're only asked because crazy mommy wants you. So,
Right.
I think he recognizes that there's no upside to this. So, I get it. But to your point, yeah, he's also wise to the fact that this could be a setup. So we cut to a hospital, the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, with a note on the wall letting us know that the patient is Dr. Eugene Openshaw. It's room 320, and there is no smoking. So, of course, the cigarette smoking man enters the room.
Yes.
We see Dr. Openshaw is still alive, burned horribly in the hyperbaric chamber. The CSM has been trying to clean things up at the train yard. Openshaw reveals that Cassandra is a success to Smoking Man's horror. Not now. And Openshaw continues to say that he's prepared to syringe for her as agreed. They will run medical tests on her. She's the key. But they'll find out. Openshaw laments that Cassandra must be terminated, and that soon people will be coming to speak with Openshaw. Cigarette Smoking Man clearly knows this, and that Openshaw can't be allowed to say anything, so he is going to pay with his life. CSM apologizes and proceeds to turn off the flow of oxygen to the chamber. Openshaw's heart rate accelerates, and he delivers his final line. A man should never live long enough. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry.
You're painting a sound picture. It's good.
I was.
Can I give Openshaw his friggin' last line, or are you going to...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A man should never live long enough to see his children or his work destroyed. I mean, you know, if you're going to equate the two things.
I mean, it's one of the two. You can't. He's happy to let his kids go as long as his work is okay.
That's right. Listen, if it's between my kids or the work, I mean, it's going to be the work, right? Well.
Scene that mirrors that of King Theoden in The Two Towers. No parent should ever have to bury their son.
Well, yes.
Or child, whatever.
I'm sure no parent has thought of that until they saw this X-File episode.
Not at all.
No, it's only occurring to them now. So I have a quick note about hyperbaric oxygen chambers, and you're going to think I have an issue with this. And at first I did. I thought, turning off the volume on the oxygen, is that really going to just kill him? This is actually legit. The only source of air is the pure oxygen that's being pumped into this chamber. So, turn off the air. He's not going to be able to breathe.
That's one hell of a way to kill your friend.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Just shoot him.
They pull out a gun and blow his brains out. Although it is pure oxygen, so it could probably have a fancy explosion.
Yeah.
You do have to imagine, though, there are staff nearby monitoring the vital signs on this thing.
No.
They're all on coffee break.
He gave them each a 5.
Yeah. Take a walk. Here's some
Take
Morleys.
a walk. So you can't smoke those?
You can't tell me what to do.
You don't know who I am. They don't know who I am.
Do you know who I am? Actually, no, sir. Just go away.
It doesn't matter. Everyone's dead. What?
If this all goes the way I think it's going to go, it's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter in 3 weeks.
That's right. You know what? Call the cops. What do I care? Well, we cut to Silver Springs, Maryland. And in actual fact, in Maryland, there's a place called Silver Spring, singular. So somebody somewhere, head's going to roll. It's nighttime. A phone rings. It's picked up by a person canonically known as the Second Elder, otherwise known as Short Old White Guy. Do you know if he has another actual name?
I don't. I don't think he does.
I don't think so either. It is the cigarette smoking man on the other end. He fills him in on the horrible events, including the death of Dr. Openshaw. The Second Elder says he's on his way. Well, outside of the Elder's house, we see a car drop someone else who comes to the door, rings the bell. Second Elder opens the door. It's Dr. Openshaw, impossibly alive, who says,
Wait.
"Come to see you." And Mike,
Yeah.
say you were coming to my place to visit. Let's just do a little role play here.
Surely.
Okay, so ring my doorbell.
Ding dong.
And there you are. And what you say,
I've come to see you.
like a normal person.
I've come to see you.
I came to have you. I never would have guessed. Are you an alien?
No.
Okay.
Why would you think that?
Now that that's cleared up.
We've known each other for, I'm assuming, a long time.
For years now.
4 years. Why are you scratching my face?
I was going to save this for one son, but between these 2 episodes, every hand-to-hand combat fight ends up with one person tearing the face off of another. Ooh, ooh.
Well, we know they're all scratchers. That's what we all know.
Anyway,
You gotta, street fights, you gotta use what works.
Yeah, you do. It's visceral and it's face grabby is what it is.
Those aren't cocaine nails. Those are scratching nails.
Okay, so it's Dr. Openshaw. He's impossibly alive. Says, "I've come to see you." The Elder lunges for the man's face, tearing at the skin, revealing a faceless man as Mark Snow's creepy music punches well above its weight. The faceless man presses his way inside, choking the Second Elder as the camera tracks away. And we see flames burst to life as the faceless man inflicts his terrible vengeance upon the Second Elder, and we fade to commercial. Cool effect that we sort of track away, and then there's a flame. A whole lot easier than actually lighting the Second Elder on actual fire. That would have been an interesting thing.
I am curious as to how they did that, because that was a real fire.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering how they did that. They had to have had something like rigged on the wall or something to kind of burst into flames or something.
Yeah, I mean, the camera tracks away. Somebody calls out, move. The actors move off. Flamethrowers moved in. It blasts upwards. I'm sure that's how they did it. But yeah, it's effective. I mean, there is a real use of sort of perceived imagination there. Like your mind fills in everything you don't see. And it's well done. Mm-hmm. They do it in One Son as well, a little less effectively, but
right.
So we clearly see the impersonated Dr. Openshaw speak. We see his mouth move and sounds come out when he says, "I've come to see you." But the faceless man doesn't have a mouth. So how does this work?
That's just the way it works. I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah, but does he not have a mouth, and then he does have? Like, can he open up
mimics the mouth
required?
With his skin,
mm-hmm.
and he mimics it, and he makes little noises with his. I don't know. Maybe he's just really good at speaking through sewn mouth.
That's possible.
Maybe he's throwing his voice
From his
like a
butt.
ventriloquist.
Yes, his voice, for the aliens, their voices come out their butts, and he's just moving his fake mouth to make the sound.
We are the rebels.
The rebels in their face butts.
But speak.
Mm.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
Well, we're back from commercial. It's 9:42 at the FBI, and Mulder is working late at his desk, reviewing the crime scene photos of the train yard on his Windows PC. Scully arrives, surprised to find him here. She thought he'd jump at the chance to work on an X-File, but Mulder thinks it was a setup, so he didn't go for it. Scully sees the crime scene photo, the burned bodies, which she remarks they've seen before. She reminds Mulder and us of the previous history she's had with this plot.
We've seen this before. Bodies set aflame with no conclusive cause of combustion. Mulder,
I know.
I was with Cassandra Spender when she disappeared. You sat with me while I was under hypnosis when I spoke of just these sorts of details.
I have no doubt that what Cassandra would tell us would expose more than just what happened to her.
I was taken to one of those train cars. I was tested just like Cassandra. What if what she tells us could expose who did this to me? Mulder, Agent Spender doesn't have to know.
Well, the plot deepens. We're going to get some justice for Scully.
Oh, boy.
Do you think we're going to get some justice for Scully, Mike?
I think so.
Yeah.
It couldn't possibly go wrong.
That's what this show is known for.
This is the X-Files. You get clear paths, point A to point B.
Optimistic resolution.
Things are resolved in timely manner.
I mean, for God's sake, we are ending the mythology, so we're going to get some justice for Scully. Well, we cut to a close-up of green luminous chunks, mysterious minerals jiggling in a ceramic field, until we cut back to see that it's in fact Cassandra Spender eating lime jello in her hospital bed.
Psych.
Arrives with bait and switch. You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scully
Literal
arrives,
bait and switch.
providing her credentials to Cassandra's official minder. Cassandra is delighted to see the friendly face of Dana Scully. Cassandra surprises Scully by showing that she no longer needs a wheelchair. Her legs work again. Cassandra is dying for a cigarette, so the two of them walk outside as her official minder, a freakishly tall black woman, slowly trails them. Cassandra relates that the doctors don't know how she's regained her mobility. Cassandra knows, but knows that no one will believe her. She was hoping that Mulder would be there so she could tell him, and Scully tells her that she's got a surprise. Mulder is in fact there in a nearby storage room. Cassandra opens the conversation with some info about Mulder's sister. Where Mulder thought he saw Samantha last year, Cassandra relates, well, that wasn't really her. She's still out there with the aliens. Scully wants some information about the here and now, relating what they know about Cassandra's reappearance, that she was found in the train car with the burned doctors. Cassandra relates the doctors didn't cure her, the aliens did, but the doctors are working with the aliens. And that's what she's been wanting to tell Mulder this whole time. She's got a new vital detail to tell. She thought that originally the aliens were here to do good, but now she knows that they actually want to wipe humanity off the planet, take over the universe. They're infecting all of the other life forms with a substance called purity, which is what the aliens are made of.
Easy mistake.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Easy mistake to make. I mean, those things are so close together.
that's right. That's right.
Save humanity or destroy it.
Destroyed.
It's literally, I mean, anyone could make this mistake.
Well, she has been really done over, as it were. She's been sold a very bad bill of goods. So to say that her mind could be a little bit fractured is
An understatement.
Scully's confused about the death of the doctors, which Cassandra answers. There is another race of aliens, a rebel force, who mutilate their faces so they won't be infected. Cassandra's tormented by the fact that her son Jeffrey is in danger, but because he's working with a force that's aligned themselves with these colonizing aliens, he's in trouble, and she can't tell him all this because he won't believe her. Now, Scully at this point is really losing steam for the whole story. And asks what the plan is for the syndicate. Cassandra mentions that part of it is what they've been doing to her and to Scully. Mulder asks who they are. Cassandra knows. In fact, one of them is her ex-husband, Jeffrey's father. Do you know what this means, Mike? Do you know what this means?
Oh, my God.
Cassandra was married to the cigarette-smoking man, and Jeffrey is their son. Mic drop. Boom.
Scary stuff, man.
Big
Scary
deal.
stuff.
This is a Empire Strikes Back, Luke, I am your father moment here.
His name is Mr. Spender.
His name is Spender. So
That's a
what
cute
did you think
name.
at this point? Do you remember your feelings when you first saw this? That you're like, oh my goodness, we know more about who this guy is now.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 episodes were like, okay, so this guy has a history that's starting to be revealed. I think it was cool to learn the quote-unquote official name, at least
For now.
so far.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Everything about this man has been a secret and mysterious. So, yeah, any little tidbit of information was always exciting.
Yep. Especially with that character, the ultimate badass.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get another monologue from the cigarette smoking man, otherwise known as Mr. Spender, who relates now how Cassandra was coming to know her place in the plan and how he was leaving a trail of bodies to cover up the conspiracy, but he just couldn't kill Cassandra. His colleagues were blind to his deception and to the capabilities of the alien rebels that threatened their arrangement with the alien colonizers. He gives some ominous foreshadowing about the ability of the alien rebels to disguise themselves as we cut to Syndicate HQ, where Alex Krycek is giving a briefing to the Syndicate members about the state of affairs when it comes to the activity of the alien rebels. Now, quick aside. I don't understand how he's so cozy with these guys. They have tried to kill him. He has tried to kill them.
All
How
is
is he
forgiven.
here?
That's how they do it.
That's right.
No, seriously. I mean, Spender, Mr. Spender, cigarette smoking Spender, even says it in at the end or the beginning of season 5.
Yeah.
Where Krycek and them go to recruit him back. He's like, you're surprised that I'm alive? And, let's say all is forgiven. Whatever. Let's move forward. And he uses it to, leverage some power. And Krycek as well. He was brought in to bring CSM back in season 5. And
Yeah.
as weird as it is at times, I believe that all of these men have their own agendas. So why not work with someone who can get shit done and, allow Krycek back in?
I am okay with that. I am less okay with his reverence for these men as the great men.
Right. I think he's just playing to them.
I suppose it could be a long con, but just the way he refers to them when he's with Jeffrey is just like a little, spreading it a little bit thick,
Too much.
He's really going on about it. It's like, I don't think you really think that, but all right. So Alex is giving us a briefing about how bad they're getting it from the alien rebels. Their facilities have been attacked. Their staff have been slain. The setbacks are great. One member laments that a hotshot reporter is going to put the pieces together, not to mention law enforcement. But CSM shuts down this line, going on about the capability of their new man at the FBI, of course, Jeffrey Spender. A crotchety voice suggests they should maybe side with the alien rebels. The second elder, not so incinerated as we were led to believe.
Whoa.
There's a significant amount of disbelief at this suggestion from both Krycek and the CSM, as Krycek suggests that, well, that's impossible now, and that resistance is futile. Call back to the Borg from Star Trek. But collaboration has allowed them to develop the alien-human hybrid, the vaccine, the mention of which elicits a bark from the cigarette-smoking man for Krycek to stop blabbing their secrets, because clearly old Mr. Spender has figured out that the second elder may be compromised. He casually covers up the misstep by saying they can't just go changing their plans at every setback, can they? Well, I mean, I think you probably got that too, eh? The significant looks from
Oh, yeah.
Smoking Man are like, wait a second, this guy.
Why are you turning complete 180,
Yeah.
Mr. Second Elder, sir? I think you are a rebel. And I would claw at your face so fast if it wasn't so embarrassing for you.
If I'm wrong. It's
Egg on my face, huh?
Yeah. We cut to Mulder and Scully infiltrating the X-Files offices of Spender and Fowley, where they look up Spender on the FBI database. They find Jeffrey and Cassandra and eventually CGB Spender, the cigarette-smoking man who now has a name. As they soak in this new plot nugget, Skinner emerges from the shadows to tell them that pack it all up, get out of there now. They do so, but they're cut off by Jeffrey Spender and his goons, who thank Skinner for apprehending the duo as they were caught in an unauthorized entry. And that the record will reflect that at their dismissal hearing. Oh no, fade to commercial. Well, what a turn.
Jeffrey
can get dismissed for unauthorized entry into an office. That
Well,
feels
no,
like-
I think it's kind of, as Mulder says, they're just waiting for them to make a mistake.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
this is that mistake pertaining to the X-Files, which they are forbidden
forbidden from going into that office.
to go in there.
Yeah. I think they could have chosen another office that wasn't the X-Files office to
Like
do their
Kirsch's?
skullduggery from. Like any other office in the in the pool that they seem to be working off of.
They're just
Jerry, I
in
need
there.
to use your computer for a second. Mine's bugged.
Yes.
All right. When we return from commercial, Jeffrey enters into an ornate room where we see cigarette smoke in the foreground. Well, of course, it's CGB Spender, otherwise known as the cigarette smoking man. Spender relates that Mulder's been apprehended, as the CSM asks, and now he wants something in return, the truth about his mother. But old CGB keeps on the line that everyone knows about Spender, that Jeffrey will not believe it. Jeffrey insists he's entitled to it, which leads to a heated confrontation.
I need to know.
You need to show me that you're capable of handling the responsibility that comes with this knowledge.
Don't try me, old man.
I gave you responsibility. I gave you a position. I gave you the things that you couldn't get yourself, and you can't do the job.
Keeping Fox Mulder down is not a job. It's your dirty work.
You pale to Fox Mulder.
Burn.
Burn.
Bitch slapped. Twice. Who'd have thought of him as a slapper?
Yeah, it should be a little gut punch there, right? But slapping is much more.
It's much more like,
dismissive.
well, that and it's ego shattering, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
another man slaps you down literally into a chair.
yeah.
It's like, okay.
So apparently, William B. Davis he really liked working with Owens. So
Oh, yeah.
they said, "Oh my God, I have to shoot you. That's terrible. I really like working with you." And Owens said, "Well, he may have said that, but he had no problem slapping me." So, yeah, I guess they get along.
It's good stuff.
All right. CGB leaves, and then we cut to Mulder shooting hoops. And again, Scully enters the gym, this time with a box of files under her arm. Mulder relates that they're both on administrative leave, while Scully says she's dug up everything she could find on CGB Spender, which is one of 100 aliases. Mulder opines that everything in that box would not be credible, and while she agrees, there is a picture Mulder is going to want to see. It's a picture of the two of them, the cigarette-smoking man and Bill Mulder, from 1973, the two men seemingly having an argument in an open field. The two men worked together on a highly classified project for 25 years in the State Department. Another shocking revelation, Cassandra Spender was abducted on November 27th, 1973, the same night that Mulder's sister Samantha was abducted.
Oh, my God.
Other
What day
names
was
are
that?
connected. November 27th, 1973.
Okay.
That am I not correct?
No, you're fine.
I got it direct from the transcript.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
Just keeping you on your toes, man.
Well, I'm glad, and it's close to my actual date of birth, so I should know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the same night that they were abducted. Everybody's abducted together. Other names are connected with CGB and Bill Mulder, PhDs, doctors, and one Dr. Eugene Openshaw, who was among the victims of the train yard crime scene. It's all coming together, Mike.
Not a stitched together picture at all.
Not a bit.
Not a bit.
I'm sure they would have never have found this out until this moment. So, cut back to CGB, lamenting about how the truth was out there. That Mulder was learning the truth that they had tried so hard to conceal. CGB had one last hope to preserve his legacy, and we see that hope specifically is Jeffrey Spender, whom we cut to standing on a wet sidewalk in downtown Washington, 7:10 p.m., where a black caddy pulls up beside him. It's CGB who gets out of the back seat. He's got a job for Jeffrey. Maybe he's been unduly harsh. Jeffrey deserves a chance to prove his father wrong. He gives to Jeffrey an alien switchblade, which of course means nothing to him. But then he pushes the button and we get the infamous schnick sound, accompanied by an ominous music sting from Mark Snow. CGB explains that the syndicate has been infiltrated by a man, and this weapon is going to kill him. Specifically, the infiltrator is disguising himself and that Jeffrey's going to plant it in the back of the infiltrator's neck. Jeffrey gets into the car, leaving CGB on the sidewalk. Alex Krycek is the driver. So, what would have happened if old Jeffrey, smooth operator that he is, was sort of looking down the barrel of that thing and then pushed the button?
I would hope he's learned from the many a cartoon that you just don't do that.
Never look down the barrel of a thing.
Never
Gun,
look down
knife,
the yeah, of anything, no matter how small it is, especially if it's got a hole on the end. What's this?
They would never write it like that in the 90s. It's too off. But modern shows have gone there. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Krycek moonlights as an Uber driver.
See, I just don't know who this. I don't know who this guy is anymore. You know, like what's his role? He's manipulating governments. Other times he's a driver. You know, he's a bag man.
He's doing what he got to do to get ahead in life.
I suppose that's true. All right.
I mean, you can be one of the major players in a world controlling syndicate and still need two jobs.
As long as your driver's license is up to date, you know, you can be part of the conspiracy. But
yeah.
if you've got parking tickets outstanding, you better find other work.
I'm sorry, we can't have you. We're gonna have to let you go.
I'm sorry, you can't drive a truck. It's kind of important. Maybe a SEAL, you know, with weapons training, but we need you to be able to drive a semi from time to time.
Please.
Time passes as he drives Jeffrey to the second elder's house. Jeffrey rings the bell. Second elder, or his impersonator, comes to the door, where Jeffrey says he's come with a message from the group. Well, have they changed their minds? Well, that's what I'm here about. So Jeffrey follows the second elder inside, where the two sit down. We have a few nice camera shots of the guy's the back of his neck, like setting it up. Yes, that's where you need to stab him, right in the back of the neck. At which point, surely Jeffrey has been thinking this whole time, you're giving me the secret knife thing to stab a guy in the back of the neck. Maybe gunshots? You know, garrote if you want to be fancy, but, you know,
right.
Why on earth, if this guy's infiltrated your group, you know, why am I being given this super duper weird way to kill a guy? Doesn't even question it. He's like,
no
okay,
questions,
Dad,
not at all.
Do it. I'll do your weird kill. Sure.
Well, he didn't want to get slapped again. So asking a dumb question, off bounds, out of bounds question might be a slap in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Okay. So they sit down. Jeffrey says he's been entrusted with a name, and he goes to hand the elder a piece of paper, which he clumsily drops. I'm so sorry. The elder bends over to get it, and we see the tempting target of his neck. Jeffrey produces the weapon to kill him, but as the weapon emits its telltale sound, Jeffrey is too slow. The elder grabs him in a chokehold. The two grapple, Jeffrey managing to scratch at the elder's face.
Learning from everyone else at the syndicate.
Yeah, never happens in any other fight scene, but it's going to happen 6 times. And, of course, tears it off. It's looking grim for Jeffrey. Krycek emerges from nowhere and stabs the alien in the back of the neck, dropping him. Jeffrey's amazed at this.
I love the slow turn.
Oh yeah,
for the the rubble to look at Krycek. It's like, what are you seeing?
Yeah, exactly.
But Krycek comes in like a badass with like the hero arm with the stiletto thing. He's like, pretty badass.
Is it his own alien schnick, or did he grab the one that Jeffrey
He probably grabbed.
I imagine he did.
Grabbed it.
I mean, I think he also knew that there's no way Jeffrey's going to get this done.
Oh yeah, that's why he's in the house. It's like, I gotta watch this kid.
Just in case this job just needs to get done, and maybe Jeffrey will pull it off. But I'm just going to back him up, just in case. Well,
I wonder if he was told to do that.
Interesting. I mean, they need the guy dead, right? So
right. Krycek makes sure he doesn't fuck this up. Maybe that's why he's the driver.
Clearly what it is. Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. All right. So yes, we've got Jeffrey amazed at the revelation. It's an alien, green blood and everything. And we cut to commercial. Now, Bran, a very capable chat person, has mentioned that November 27th, 1973 is a day of infamy. The 25th Amendment passed, allowing the vice president to take over for the president in a time of incapacitation. So this episode might be about the transfer of power from one spender to another spender. That's a nice point.
That's a good point.
I think that the series writers do like to draw heavily from historical events.
Oh, yeah. And they do like to sneak things like that in there. So that could very well be.
Yes. And of course, canonically in the abduction sequence with Samantha, it's the discussion of the Watergate tapes that's playing on the television. So
yes.
After commercial, we cut back to Mulder's apartment where Skinner arrives, connecting with Mulder and Scully. What's all this about Cassandra Spender's life being in danger?
Her life's been in danger going on 30 years. Just not the way I think it is now.
In danger from who?
Men who've conducted medical experiments in what began as a secret government project, but what is now the most private global enterprise.
Enterprise gonna do what?
To develop alien-human hybrids that will survive the viral apocalypse when aliens colonize the Earth.
And I suppose you have proof of this.
Files that Agent Scully dug up that make all the right connections to Dr. Eugene Openshaw, to my sister, to my father, to Agent Spender's father.
Agent Spender's father?
The smoking man.
What?
It's true, sir. We have documented evidence.
Then you believe this, Agent Scully, this whole account?
I know that Agent Scully has her doubts about the purposes of these experiments, but I also know that she herself believes she was a test subject when she was abducted 4 years ago.
Well, if Cassandra Spender's life was in danger, why not Scully's?
Because I believe Cassandra Spender represents the final stages of these experiments, that she may very well be the first successful alien-human hybrid.
What I don't understand is if she was a success, then why is her life threatened?
Because the men who created her would rather kill her than let her expose the Enterprise.
She's under 24-hour guard.
Assigned by Agent Spender.
Oh no.
My God.
Cassandra. So clearly Skinner's role in that, well, pretty much any exchange that he is always in here, unless it's the episode's about him, is he's the what man. You know, his dialogue is punctuated by question marks.
I'm here because I hear there's an audience that needs to be clued in and have it laid out.
Correct, sir.
I'm here for the exposition dump.
I'm a stand-in for the audience. Why don't you just explain it to me like I'm 12 years old?
Really?
I also like how Scully has no agency in this scene, because Skinner literally turns to her and says, "Then you believe this, Agent Scully, this whole account?" And Mulder goes, "I know that Scully's got her own doubts, but she believes, trust me."
I will speak for myself, sir.
I also order for her in restaurants.
The lady will have the filet mignon.
The lady is watching her figure and will have a green salad.
Cancel that. She will have a green garden salad, light dressing.
And she'll have 4 vodka tonics. Somebody's getting lucky. Okay.
I need her loose tonight.
I need to move on. All right. So we cut back to the second elder's house where Spender watches the alien disintegrate into green goo.
The look on his face.
Oh my God. He is just
He's like, what is happening?
My whole world just got messed up. And Krycek looks like he's enjoying watching Spender's world being rocked as he goes on about the responsibility that comes with knowledge and the admiration he has for men like Spender's father, who have had to make the sacrifices they have. And when Spender presses him on this point, Krycek mentions, well, of course, the sacrifice of your mother. I mean, come on, there's that. And that only rocks Spender's world further. Krycek piles it on by saying, not only is his father involved, he's personally responsible, and he's been directing the experiments on your mother for the past 25 years. I mean, there's that.
So there's part of your answer.
Yeah.
Because he is definitely rocking the boat.
Oh, I mean, it set it up pretty hard. I mean, I think this is a failing on old CGB's part that he didn't read his son in on the 25-year experiment on his mother earlier. Like this is it's a very weird way to inoculate your son to what's going on. You know, he doesn't.
I've been waiting for the right moment to tell you this. It's not crazy. I mean, it's just one little thing.
Yeah.
Your mom, she's our number one test subject.
Yeah, I've been doing it. And by the way, they're aliens, for real. I know that thing that you think is crazy that your mom's been going on about. Well, turns out. Yeah. So, I mean, again, I have issues with the CSM as a character. I find him somewhat mercurial. He's kind of written that way. How does he not see this coming, that Spender is going to be disloyal, that he's going to betray him? Given that he doesn't give him anything, certainly doesn't give him any information, gives him a real shitty assignment, which is keep Mulder from doing anything. And then when this revelation occurs, he's like, oh, and my father is at the heart of it all, and he's never told me? I mean, I don't buy that this comes from supposedly this. I mean, I buy that he justifies the betrayal, like that the betrayal happens. It makes obvious sense. You know, the plot has written it this way, but I just don't see the cigarette smoking man as being so stupid as to not see this coming.
Okay. So it's an oversight in smugness. He's too confident that this would never happen.
I suppose.
I guess. I don't know.
Like when Jeffrey learns why this is the way it is, I guess he'll understand and he'll be at my right side. I mean, I guess that's what he's thinking.
I would imagine Jeffrey has presented himself as a furious defender of his mom. Mm-hmm. So CGB could, maybe have read on that and picked up on, I'm going to have to approach this delicately or just keep him in the dark forever.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't honestly care about Jeffrey. I think he cares about Jeffrey in so much that he's someone who he can pretend to induct into the syndicate or get to do his bidding. I don't think he truly cares about Jeffrey.
Well, I think he does in the sense that Jeffrey is going to preserve the legacy. He's going to be the next. He's going to be the next kingmaker. He's
right.
If he plays his cards right, he's going to be the next cigarette smoking man in the future when the aliens are taken over. He's going to be there to steward the plan to save humanity or something, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm surprised that this comes as a surprise that Jeffrey would betray him, given the pile of shit that is amounting on poor Jeffrey's doorstep here. So, yeah, Krycek is telling him the whole thing that he's been put in place to protect the experiments, to allow them to continue. So not only has your father been doing this horrible shit to your mom for 25 years, your role in the plan is to protect that and make sure it can go on. So there's that. And we get the sense that Jeffrey doesn't really buy into the plot, and he ends with a somewhat petulant, well, I'll be my own great man, and he leaves with a slightly ominous Krycek in his wake. So we're going to go back to CGB's monologue, where he laments of Jeffrey's disloyalty, summarizing where we are in the plot right now. And it now turns, as he reveals who he's been talking to, who he now needs someone to trust It's Diana Fowley who agrees to help him. It's not too late. She walks out, but not before putting a caressing hand on his shoulder, leaving him to smoke his 23rd cigarette. All right.
So she's Mr. Morley?
She's Mr. Morley.
Oh.
She's transformed from a carton of cigarettes to an actual person, Mimi Rogers, in the flesh.
Maybe that's just him hallucinating.
That's right. She's always been kind to me.
You're as sexy as I've always known you to be.
Mm-hmm.
Touch my shoulder.
All right, we're coming in for a landing here, Mike. Shall we get to it?
Let's do it.
All right. We cut to the hospital with A.D. Skinner going in to check on Cassandra's welfare. She's not in her room or the bathroom, for good measure. Agent Spender arrives, also looking for his mother, but she's gone. Spender says he took her. Makes a call on the hospital phone, while Skinner is left to wonder, well, what do you mean? Who took her? Because Skinner is the what man?
What?
What? What?
What are you doing exactly?
Why are you here? Who are you? Who's
Enunciate.
Did your father bring you presents as a kid? Tell me more about your father. When did he start smoking?
Hey, I just heard about your dad.
Hey, that's
Congratulations.
Cool, your dad's an asshole.
Your dad's my boss.
I'm going to treat
We've
you
been friends for a while.
All right, we cut back to Mulder's apartment, where someone is banging furiously on his door. Well, it's Cassandra Spender, looking wild-eyed and frantic. She can't believe she found them, but how did she find them? Where did she get her clothes? Someone begins knocking on Mulder's door, as Cassandra begs for them to kill her, even going so far as to grab for Mulder's pistol. If they don't kill her, it all begins, she says, and there will be no stopping it. As the knocking continues, Mulder draws his pistol to Scully's shock. They'll have to protect her, though. Mulder tells Scully to stand away as he takes aim, and we fade to black. To be continued. Wow.
Crazy. That's pretty
what
intense.
A cliffhanger.
Camera focuses on the muzzle of the pistol, and we cut.
Yeah. I like to think that knocking was probably one of Mulder's neighbors telling him to keep it down.
For the love of God, not another huge thing.
I have to go to bed. Why are you making all this noise?
Why can't you find a house in the country? God.
Quick aside, how did Cassandra get there?
I don't.
Okay.
She ran.
I have a thought.
Okay.
Because Spender says he took her. So we are led to believe that the cigarette smoking man took Cassandra, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he dropped her at Mulder's doorstep.
You think he actually took her?
I think he actually took her.
Why?
He actually put her into Mulder's care.
Why?
I have no idea, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. That she arrives there. Like, how does she know where he lives? How did she get her clothes? Like, somebody had to facilitate that.
I don't know. I'm sure someone somewhere at some point brought her a pair of clothes.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think Jeffrey would? I don't know.
She's a resident of the hospital. She's being cared for.
Yeah, I suppose. Well,
and Scully's
got
first question is, how did you get clothes?
How did you get clothes?
How did you get clothes? They don't just
God damn it, Scully.
Yeah. I mean, it's not fully formed as a thought. I wouldn't put it past the plot, though, that this is sort of wheels within wheels. It is never explained why
maybe
she seemingly arrives
it's a
there.
special power like Bran is putting forward now.
Sure.
She's
going to ride on the alien ship.
Is this what you're going to die on? This hill of how did she get there? That's what your problem is?
I will say for this episode, it does not have a giant laundry list of Andrew questions. It's pretty good in terms of stuff. Now, One Son is going to be chock full of questions, but this one I'm actually all right with. This is just the one I have for this episode is like the agents go to ask these questions, which is usually code for a smart bit of writing because they're going to ask it so as to preempt us from going, wait a second, how did she get here? But then they usually do a little bit of explaining. You know, they actually do us a favor by asking and answering the question. And then in this case, they just ask it and then immediately start pointing a gun at Cassandra. So I realize they've run out of time. You know,
they've run out of time
here, and that's it. They could have done something.
Well, they squeezed in the questions to seem witty, be like, hey, the audience might ask these questions, and cut. Maybe they'll forget by next week.
That's right. There's knocking on the door. That's yeah. Okay. Mike, we've gotten to the end of the episode. It is now time to go into final thoughts. I would like to know.
Do you want to do final thoughts, or do you want to save them for one son?
No. We have to.
No.
Do them.
Okay.
We're breaking format now after 20 years. My goodness.
No, I'm pretty sure we've done that before.
No, never.
I'm not positive, but
you haven't written any, have you?
I don't need to write any. I'm not trying to get out of anything, sir. No, it's a great episode. I think this is a perfect setup for the next episode. I think it asks a lot of fun questions. It has a lot of good reveals. Getting CGB's initials, fun.
Big deal.
As small as that is, everyone as a fan watching it live was like, whoa.
What?
And Jeffrey finally learns the truth, whether or not he wants to believe it. I enjoy it.
A lot of stuff there.
You've been waiting. At least I've been waiting for Jeffrey to come around. And
oh, yeah.
I don't want to say I always sensed there was going to be like a struggle between him and his dad, but I sensed that he was not an awful person despite being, the antagonist to Agent Mulder and Scully for a season. So I'm like, when is this going to happen? And so when this happened the first time I saw it, I was like, finally, he might become a good guy.
Yes. And he does, ultimately, for like 20 minutes.
15 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Well, as we begin our final descent into the last of the Mythology Arc episodes, it's hard to deny that the crew has come up with an excellent opener for the two-parter. In addition to summarizing 5 years of mythology plot lines through some well-crafted cigarette-smoking man monologues, we get a whole basket full of plot nuggets, character reveals, fiery death scenes, a bit of action, and nothing but net baskets courtesy of basketball whiz Fox Mulder. It's almost too much, but in true Spotnitz fashion, the script is tight and to the point, and not so convoluted you can't keep track as we go along. The conceit is clear. Cassandra's back. She's the tip of the iceberg to the end game. Will our heroes protect her and trigger the end of the world, or will they sacrifice her to save it? So, Mike, I really like the setup of this episode. However, if there's a point I'd stick on, it's that the cigarette smoking man, or perhaps we get to call him CGB from now on, is again mercurially weird when it comes to his offspring. Why does he rely on Spender when the project is so important? And really, with Krycek around, why bother giving Spender anything to do at all? Clearly, Spender is not the man CGB needs him to be, and he's had a whole career to prove it. So, I do like this episode a lot. Other than that, it's great stuff. It answers a lot of questions you probably had about the show, and it sets it up very nicely for a concluding episode. But will it be everything the fans need for closure of the Mythology Arc? Tune in and see.
I suspect no from your tone here.
That would be telling. And people are going to have to wait a week to find out what I think about One Son.
For 2 minutes.
No, I don't think it works that way. Temporally, people are listening to us on one Sunday, and next week they're going to hear it, unless you're in the live chat, in which case you can hear it.
Yeah, they're going to hear it now, because that's the benefit of coming to the live show.
You could hear it now, but
otherwise you'd have to wait a week and a half.
You're not going to hear it. That's true. All right.
Conversely, you'd have to wait another week, another 2 weeks to get another new episode. But
that's true. Although maybe you can't get enough of us and you'll do both.
Maybe you'll just keep listening over and over.
It's true, on repeat. Oh, that could be weird.
All right. Well, I'm ready to.
We didn't have any listener comments on Two Fathers.
No, I think they're saving them all. All.
Yes. They're like Spender's progress reports. They're going to flood us.
Flood us right at the end
of the season 6.
Well, I'm ready to get out of here and go eat dinner.
That's right. People will use their imaginations.
I am not going to record another episode in a few minutes.
You're telling them what we do. Stop telling what we do. Everybody, thanks for listening. And we'll look forward to hearing us next week when we wrap it up, this two-parter, with our discussion of One Son. Mike, say goodnight to these fine people.
Goodbye. And remember, watch your necks. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at TINHXFilesPod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.